Your business is going to fail without this. You don't know if you have a company culture that actually makes sense? Then your business is probably going to fail. Now, what is company culture precisely? Company culture, to me, means people within your company will act and react more or less the same way. Let's say you own a marketing agency and a big disaster happens. Some client is super angry because a mistake happened and you have messed up a whole product launch. Let's say your company forgot to add the link in the email campaign. Now, if your company culture is not that good, your staff cannot work together effectively under stress and therefore minimize the damage. With an excellent company culture, it would go like this. Your people understand the damage, they understand how important this client and his campaign is, and then they immediately make a plan to minimize the damage. For example, they can make a new version of the campaign, apologize for it, correct the emails and send them out when it makes sense and as soon as possible. Of course, always with good synchronization with your clients. Then they analyze where your value chain broke and implement a process to make sure this will never ever happen again. In this case, people took responsibility for their mistake, they didn't freak out, they analyzed what went wrong, fixed it, brought in the lost revenue with a new campaign and made sure it won't happen again in the future. Because the process was optimized. Now, with bad or no company culture, the guy making the mistake would have found excuses and would say, oh, that wasn't my fault, and things would have gotten worse only. A team kinda knows what to do once you have given them some values and you have to allow them to make mistakes. Here are some important business values that I live by and I want my team to live by. Be on time. Always be on time. Of course, there could be emergencies, but make it a habit to be on time and always be professional. I double or triple check things. In almost 90% of the time, every time I go through my work, I still find mistakes. It's natural for me to go the extra mile here. Think of Murphy's Law. If something can fail, it will. If I do something, I'll do it right. That means on time and completely. And if I can't, I will decommit. I will leave everything and everyone better than they were before. That doesn't mean I'm always nice. Sometimes I can be harsh, but I add value to people's lives. Win-win or no deal. I refuse to do one-sided deals. I believe win-lose deals are bad for both sides at the end from a long-term perspective. So I will never do that. Extreme ownership. You have to feel responsible for everything. There is no one else to blame but yourself. For anything that happens in my life, I'm fully responsible. It doesn't matter how bad other people or the economy are, it's always in my hands. Speed. Everything must happen quickly and efficiently. I cannot afford to waste any time. Whatever I do, I make sure I finish it fast. Speed is extremely important, especially in business. Always be efficient. It's so easy to fall into the trap of overpaying for things your business doesn't really need. If you really need something expensive, try to make it cost efficient. Never just buy fancy stuff because you think you can afford it. Most startups go bankrupt because they spend way too much money on things they don't really need, like a prestigious office or vanity projects, things like that. Focus on what you really need to get the job done as opposed to what you want because you think you're cool. I have witnessed companies crumble, not due to a lack of resources or talent, but because their culture was either toxic or non-existent at all. Culture is the invisible force that dictates how decisions are made, how team members interact, and essentially, it's the operating system of your team. It's the software that runs the hardware, your team. Without a strong, positive culture, your company is like a computer without a good operating system, dysfunctional and directionless. Having a bulletproof culture is step one, but hiring the best people is the only way to maintain that culture. If you really want to achieve success in your business, check out this video on hiring the right people so your business can grow exponentially.